If you're into electronics or engineering, you're absolutely familiar with 3D printing. We use it literally all the time, right? Plastic enclosures, custom brackets, rapid mechanical prototypes. But when it comes to the actual brains of our projects, the printed circuit boards themselves, we almost always default to ordering them from a massive fab house overseas. Or we mess around with some incredibly tedious DIY etching, which inevitably ends up ruining a perfectly good pair of jeans with ferric chloride. But what if you didn't have to do either? What if you could just hit print on your desktop and pull out a fully functional, conductive circuit board?
Okay, let's dive into this, because I know exactly what you're thinking. Printing plastic is standard, everyday stuff now. But printing highly precise, highly conductive electrical traces? Come on, that sounds a little bit like science fiction. You might be wondering if it's even physically possible to get the kind of reliability and resolution we need for modern electronics just by extruding material. Well, not only is it possible, it's actually happening right now, and it's poised to completely disrupt how we think about hardware design.
Section 1. Subtracting versus adding copper. To really understand why this is such a massive leap forward, we've got to look at the fundamental difference in how boards are traditionally made. We're talking about a complete paradigm shift here.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it highlights the sheer inefficiency of conventional manufacturing. Traditional PCB fabrication is entirely subtractive by design. You start with a pristine, fully copper-clad laminate board, and then you use a chemically intensive, honestly pretty messy process to etch or mill away absolutely everything you don't need. It's undeniably precise, and it's a proven technology for sure, but it's inherently wasteful, and it's incredibly slow when you're trying to iterate. Every single time you make a revision, you have to create a new photomask, run another etching cycle, and just wait. Additive manufacturing flips this script entirely. Instead of carving away copper, you build the circuits layer by layer, depositing only the conductive material you actually require for your specific traces.
The way this additive magic actually works generally falls into two distinct camps. First, you have 2D-style inkjet printing. This works very much like the inkjet printer sitting on your desk right now, where a highly specialized printhead rapidly deposits conductive ink or metal onto a flat substrate. It's incredibly fast for custom, flat boards. But then you have true 3D extrusion. In this process, an extruder head meticulously lays down tiny beads of conductive material to build complex interconnects across multiple planes. This means you can literally print conductive traces onto three-dimensional, completely non-flat forms.
Section 2. Real machines doing this today. At this point, you might be thinking, sure, this all sounds great in a $1 million research lab, but is it actually real? Oh, it is. This is not just theoretical vaporware. This technology is out in the wild.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what the market leaders are achieving right now. Take a look at Nano Dimension. They are already successfully using 3D printing to manufacture highly complex, multi-layered PCB circuits, which is drastically cutting the time it takes to get from a CAD design to a physical prototype in your hands. And then look at electronics with their newly launched CircuitJet IV. Guys, this is mind-blowing. It's a desktop machine that consolidates PCB fabrication, plating, solder mask deposition, assembly, and even reflow into one single benchtop system. One engineer can produce a working board without ever sending a single file to an external fab house.
And the capabilities go way, way beyond just laying down basic copper. Machines like the CircuitJet IV can print dielectric layers right alongside the conductive traces. Plus, the material list is wild. They've got inks that can print silver, platinum, gold, nickel, and yeah, of course, copper. The sheer flexibility to lay down these specialized materials exactly where you want them without massive industrial plating baths is a total game changer for custom electronics.
Section 3. Cutting waste in half. Beyond just the cool factor of the technology itself, we really need to talk about the massive environmental and economic impact of shifting toward additive electronics. So the crucial point is this 50% figure. Because additive manufacturing only deposits the material your specific design actually needs, individual designs can see a waste reduction of up to 50% compared to traditional etching. Just think about that for a second. Half the waste. That is a widely cited figure in the industry, because absolutely zero copper is being edged away and casually discarded into toxic chemical baths.
When you extrapolate that incredible efficiency across the entire global electronics industry, the numbers get staggering. Industry studies estimate that additive PCB manufacturing could drastically reduce total manufacturing costs, energy consumption, and CO2 emissions at scale. We are talking about global savings projected in the hundreds of billions of dollars if this tech is adopted widely. It is a massive win for both the bottom line and the environment.
Section 4. The catch. Current limitations. Now, I know my audience. We're engineers, we're makers.
And we know there's no such thing as a perfect, flawless technology. To really understand this space, we have to honestly assess where it currently falls short.
To put it into perspective, additive manufacturing is not replacing megafab houses tomorrow. Where it truly shines right now is in rapid prototyping, circuit miniaturization, and creating conformal PCBs, meaning boards that follow a curved or unusual shape, which you literally just can't easily do with traditional rigid fiberglass. However, it still falls short in a few key areas. It's not yet ready for the mass production of complex, incredibly high layer count motherboards. Furthermore, the upfront cost for these flexible mixed material printers can be incredibly high. And crucially, some of the conductive inks and filaments out there simply don't yet match the long-term electrical performance and solid reliability of traditional solid copper traces.
Section 5. Saving Moore's Law. Despite those current limitations, there is a massive forward-looking industry trend that makes the continued development of this technology absolutely necessary. We are running into the hard physical limits of Moore's Law. You know the drill. For decades, the industry relied on the principle that we could just keep shrinking transistors and doubling density periodically to get more performance. But as that scaling slows down, because, well, we are quite literally hitting the atomic limit of materials, the industry is frantically searching for other ways to squeeze out better performance. We are going to need advanced geometries and totally new manufacturing approaches. Let's move to and see how this builds into an entirely new design philosophy, perfectly addressing that exact challenge. Additive manufacturing is positioned to fill this innovation gap, offering design freedom that traditional, subtractive processes simply can't match. When you aren't restricted to flat 2D planes and standard etching constraints, you can design circuits that weave through three-dimensional space. This drastically shortens interconnect paths and unlocks entirely new levels of hardware performance.
Which leaves us with this massive question. As traditional transistor scaling finally stops, is 3D printing the key to unlocking the next generation of hardware geometries? It's a fascinating frontier, and seeing these benchtop fab machines in action makes it pretty clear that the future of hardware development is going to look very, very different from the past. Thank you so much for exploring this with me on This Explainer. Keep questioning how things are made, and I'll catch you on the next one.